All right, what is going on? We should be live. I hope you guys are having a great day so far. Hope you guys are gearing up for Christmas. When this video at least is posted, it probably will be in the Facebook group probably a few days before Christmas, and then probably when this is posted as a podcast will probably be a week after that, after Christmas. So hope you guys have a great Christmas. If you're watching this in the Facebook group, if you're watching the replay or listening to the replay on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, hope you guys had a great Christmas or a great holiday if you celebrate something different. But wanted to come on here and just share how insane this week has been and how it can apply to you in your fitness journey, your weight loss journey. Because this has been a pretty unique and crazy week when it comes to me and my own fitness journey, my own work, business scheduling journey too, of just navigating being a parent and balancing everything that you guys all balance with trying to get your workouts in, trying to track your food if you're doing that, pay attention to your nutrition, make good choices, while also balancing, your career and work life or whatever you have to get done throughout the day as well. And this kind of really stems from pretty much Aidan, our 3-year-old, which these are not negative things that I'm saying, but these are just changes in his schedule that are happening just kind of naturally that are affecting me in how well I'm able to get my things done in a timely manner. So just to kind of like backtrack, lay the foundation of the context around here, Aidan, he has always been like a really awesome sleeper. He would go to sleep at like 8 p.m., 8:30 every night, and he would sleep for a good like 12 hours until 8:30 like the next morning. And even when he would wake up, he would just be perfectly content with staying in his room until I went up there and got him. So I would always look on the monitor, on the camera that we have, and see, okay, he's awake and he's just sitting in his bed and reading a bunch of books. He would get up from his bed, go grab a couple of books, read them, put them back, go get some more, which made things really easy, for me, where I could be downstairs finishing up some work for maybe, 15, 20 minutes after I see that he's awake and just kind of wrap things up so I'm able to stop work and stop, client messages or client check-ins at like a good concrete point to where things are really organized in my head. They're not really jumbled, and I can go upstairs and then get him out of his room and get him ready for daycare and everything. Well, this kind of changed recently, just the past like week or so, where he kind of, I guess, just learned how to open doors now. So now he knows how to open doors where before he didn't, which is probably a big reason why he would read books. Now I know some kids, at that age, but we have a friend and their daughter, it sounds like she'll wake up and she doesn't know how to open doors, but she will like bang on the door and call their name to wake them up. And Aidan never even did that. He would just wake up and start reading. But now that he's figured out how to open the door, now he knows, oh, I can leave the room whenever I want. So he started waking up earlier instead of 8:30-ish like he was before, 8:30 or 9. Now he's waking up at 7:30. So an hour sooner, and he's coming out of his room on his own and either coming downstairs to find where I'm at or going into our bedroom where Isla, his 4-month-old little sister, is sleeping and turning the lights on and waking her up, which then just, makes things even more difficult navigating. Just, if I'm in the middle of work, now I got to stop that immediately because she's up, get her ready and all this stuff too. So he started doing that, which, like I said, just made things more complicated because originally my schedule was always wake up really early and knock out client check-ins for the first like 2 to 3 hours of the morning before he wakes up. And then I would be pretty much done with most of my check-ins, if not all of them, by that point, like my structured video check-ins for clients, and then wake him up. And it was just a good transition. It was good. Okay, knock out my check-ins. Those are done. Obviously, I do client support and messages and calls and stuff the rest of the day, but knock out like the structured check-ins, wake him up, get him and his sister ready for daycare and take them, come back, get my workout in right when I come back while answering client messages, and then do other work. Well, that kind of went out the window when he woke up at 7:30, because then when he was waking up at 7:30, I wouldn't really have enough time to get like a good flow of client check-ins done by the time he woke up. It felt like right when I was sitting down to do client check-ins, then he was waking up, and it was just a lot of interruption. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and actually change my schedule. And now let me do my workout right when I wake up. And that way I'll be pretty much done with my workout by the time he wakes up at 7:30. I'll be able to get them ready, both of them ready for daycare, take them, come back, and then do my client check-ins then. Well, that worked for maybe 2 or 3 days. And then just the past couple of days, he started waking up at 6:30 now. And I was able to convince him for the first few days when he was waking up early, hey, like if you wake up and it's dark outside, you need to go back to bed and you can come out of your room when you see that the sun comes up. That was kind of like the deal we made. And it worked, like I said, for a few days, but the past couple of days, he started coming out of his room anyway, even though it was dark outside, coming down and finding me when I literally just started my workout. Like yesterday and today, I woke up and I was literally walking to the gym and I had his camera open. And I saw he's out of his room. And then I started walking to the stairs to go upstairs to find him. And he was already at the bottom of the stairs waiting for me. So now I'm trying to work out and get my workout in while he's there for the whole workout, right? It's one thing if I'm finishing up the last couple of exercises and he's in there, kind of getting into things, doing his own thing, playing, which I love. I love having him in the gym with me because it feels really cool to be able to work out, set an example for him and kind of show him how to do certain exercises and everything. But when he's in there for the whole workout, after a while, right, he's a toddler, 3 years old, he gets a little bit bored. He wants to get into other things that he's not supposed to get into. And this morning, he kept going upstairs, all the way upstairs, while I was doing a set. He would wait until I started to do like a set of skull crushers where I have the bar on top of me. I'm laying on a bench. I can't really see exactly what he's doing. I'm in the middle of my set. I get up from my set and he's all the way upstairs, turning the lights on, waking his little sister up. I'm like, oh gosh. So I can't tell you how many times I had to go up there, bring him back down, tell him not to do that. And he kept going up in the middle of my set or going into like other closets and doors he's not supposed to get into, doing this, that. It was just a whole thing. And it made my workout this morning probably double the length it should have been, which is just really stressful to constantly be interrupted in the middle of the workout, which I'm assuming if you're listening to this, watching this, if you have kids, especially young kids, toddlers, you've experienced that, right? And it just made it very frustrating to have to deal with that and manage that while also worrying about him waking his sister up and then his 4-month-old sister needing to be fed and this and that. When I'm trying to just get this workout done, I'm trying to just get it done so it's out of the way. And then I can wake them both up, get them all dressed, ready for daycare, take them, and then obviously start my work, right? Because I have a business, I have a bunch of clients, things that need to get done. And it just was so stressful this whole week because it was like, I am such a person that thrives on routine. Like waking up, kind of doing the same things over and over day after day, kind of being able to predict what the next hour of my day is going to look like. I really thrive on that. And, I'm flexible, obviously, as a business owner. Sometimes things pop up and they need to get done immediately. And then, I have to change when I do certain things. But I do thrive on structure and consistency and predictability and routine. And that's been just really thrown out the window as these changes have been made to like just his sleep schedule and now him learning how to open doors and being able to come out. I got the workout done the past 2 days and it was really stressful. And now I'm kind of brainstorming, okay, like, if he's waking up at 6:30 next week and maybe going forward, I might have to just start just planning, hey, like we're just going to head to daycare earlier because when he would sleep until 8:30, I would just let him sleep, get the sleep that he needed, wake him up, and his sister up when he was up and take them to daycare around like 9:30. Like that's what I did. And it was nice because it gave me a chunk of time in the morning to get a bunch of work done, which helps. Like my mind is really sharp in the morning and I really thrive and I'm more efficient with getting things done and communicating first thing in the morning versus in the afternoon. So that worked with me being able to knock out a lot of work in the morning. But now as things are kind of playing out, I think I'm going to have to at least experiment with maybe, okay, if he's going to wake up at 6:30, I'm just going to plan for them both to be awake at 6:30. And if they're not awake at 6:30, I'm going to wake them up and spend that morning time eating my breakfast, waking them up, getting them up, taking them to daycare, coming back, and then, hopefully being back in the house by 8 a.m. to then actually start like my whole day of client check-ins, workouts, other business thing, filming podcasts like this, client messages, calls, all that kind of stuff. So the reason why I'm kind of sharing all this, and you might be like, okay, these details don't really matter. They don't really pertain to me. It's just that I think it's really easy to look at maybe somebody like myself who's a nutrition and fitness coach, who maybe you look at me and maybe not, maybe you think I'm not in shape, but maybe you look at me and think I'm in shape and think I have it all together when I really don't. Like I am going through the same challenges that you were going through. Every day sometimes looks different. And I'm trying my best with each season to find like what routine and schedule works best for me. And sometimes it's messy. Sometimes every day looks different. Some days everything just looks so interrupted and I get so frustrated and like just wish that like, oh, like wish I didn't have to do all of this. But you just have to find a way to make it work and experiment with different things. Experiment with working out at this time of day versus that time of day, or doing this then and this and another time. And it's like maybe not every day is going to be able to look the exact same either. And that's something that I have to also accept myself, that every day might look a little bit different just based on me, working from home and taking them to, daycare every morning and everything. And just because things are messy and things are hard and challenging and difficult and frustrating isn't a pass or a reason to just give up on your goals or give up on staying healthy and working out in this lifestyle or losing the weight that you want to lose. Even the people who seem like they have it the most together, they struggle with a lot of this stuff too. Unless there's somebody, let's say who they work from home, they have their own business, and maybe their business revolves around fitness. They're single and they don't have any kids and they don't have any pets. Maybe that person really literally has nothing that can interrupt them. But if you're looking at somebody and they have kids and they're married and they have, a life outside of just working out and fitness, then they probably deal with a lot of the same stuff too, which is, what I've been really experiencing. And I've been a dad for 3 years now with Aidan and now obviously Isla. And it's like every season is going to have new challenges, right? Because like this is our first 3-year-old. And when he turns 4, he's going to be our first 4-year-old. And then it's going to be our first experience with a 4-year-old plus with, at that point, a 1-year-old with Isla. And now we're going to be juggling both and figuring out how to make things fit there. And, one change that I have made even myself the past couple of months is I have stepped a little bit away from powerlifting, and I'm not doing powerlifting anymore because powerlifting really requires you to probably be in the gym to really excel 5 days a week for sure. And those workouts just have to be long because you're working up to such heavy weights when you're working up to like a set of 1 rep, right? Like that takes a lot of warm-ups to do that, which takes a lot of time to rest in between. My workouts were just getting so long and was working out 5 days a week, and the weekends were just getting really hard because he'd wake up earlier. And then, I didn't want to leave my wife with both of the kids in the mornings because, I wanted to be there to help. So I changed to 4 days a week of lifting, and it's actually been really nice to have a little bit of a break from such long workouts. But still get really great workouts for building strength overall, not in necessarily the powerlifting sense, but building strength overall, building muscle overall, staying in shape. I've had one of my best fat loss phases over the past couple of months by doing so. But it was a shift, right? And with every new season, with every new challenge, there's going to be shifts. But it's really important to realize you can still progress and excel despite the chaos and the shifts you have to make. Maybe you have to go down to 3 days a week instead of 4. Maybe you have to get your walks in the afternoon or evening or late morning instead of first thing in the morning because this pops up or that pops up. Or maybe something pops up in the evening and now you have to do it in the morning when you previously did it later on in the day. Whatever it is, like sometimes things are going to be chaotic. Sometimes things are going to be hard. Sometimes things are going to feel just all over the place and really disrupted, and you're going to feel really frustrated and anxious about things. But if you want to really progress, you have to find a way to do them anyway. And you don't have to be perfect. Like give yourself grace to not be perfect, but you still have to be probably 75 to 80% consistent to still see results in that period. And sometimes there are periods to be like, hey, I might be 60% consistent and I'm just going to expect maybe maintaining where I'm at during this 60% consistent period of my life. And then maybe in a month or two, I'm going to be able to ramp that back up to 80% consistent and start moving forward a little bit more and kind of oscillate between periods of progressing when it comes to losing weight, maintaining, progressing, maintaining. And, honestly, like that's a win because most people can't even maintain their weight. So even if you're able to do that during those periods that feel really rough, like that's a huge benefit, and that's what we teach our clients to do. But I think the whole gist of this conversation was a little bit, honestly, for me to vent, just to be clear, just to be like frank, is to vent of just like, man, this week has been difficult and stressful, but also to just show, hey, I struggle with this stuff too, and it's tough. And there are some periods where I'm like, man, why don't I just skip this workout? But I'm like, what kind of coach would I be if I didn't like push through in those moments? If I did skip it and I didn't follow through? Now, sure, I give myself grace when I need to, right? But at the same time, I have to lead by example and show like, even though life is chaotic sometimes, it's still worth doing. The example that I'm setting for my son and my daughter, hopefully will bleed through to them of, hey, like, when they get older and they have kids, hopefully they remember being down in the gym with dad and him working out. And maybe he's stressed in between sets because I keep getting into things, but he's still getting it done and doing it. And hopefully that translates to them when they one day, maybe become parents. So hopefully this message helped to just know that you're not alone, that I struggle with those same things, but also even amidst that struggle, it's really empowering when you push through, because right now that they're at daycare today, and I'm here working in the silence, I'm really glad I did finish that workout. And obviously, I'm super thankful to be able to experience those chaotic moments and to have them in my life regardless. So hopefully, this was helpful and eye opening. Appreciate you all. And I will see you guys in the next one.